In this lesson I will show you how you can take a random number out of a texture atlas. And we can start right away, so Shift A and input, and we will use the texture coordinate, so select that one. We also need an image, so Shift A, texture, and select the image texture, so we have that. Connect the color to the base color and open. And in your resources you will find unwrapping. So select unwrapping, press open and go to render view, and this is what we have. So this is a typical atlas because it's in logical order with tiles inside. So we have 8 tiles in the X direction and 8 tiles in the Y direction. So 8 times 8 amount of tiles. And to make a random image out of this, we need to pick some of these, so like 8-3 or 8-7 or F4 or something like that. And every one of these are like 1/8 in size, because a UV, which we will use later, go from 0 to 1. So this will be 1/8 and this will be 8 divided by 8, which is 1. So we need to divide this UV to get this only little tile here. So press Shift A, go to Converter and Vector Math. And put UV to the top and change this add into divide and put the vector to the vector so we have it in. Now we need some values here to make stuff happen. So we use a combine XYZ, Shift A, Converter, combine XYZ. So select that, put that to the lower vector. And we use some input here so we can put in values. So Shift A, input value. 1 for X, and then copy this one. Shift D, so 1 for Y. And as I said, we had 8 in one direction and we had 8 in another direction. And now we get one single tile. And the tile we get, if I take away the vector here, is the low one here, since UV start at 0.0 down here. So this is the first. And all we need to do now is add an add in here. So we make these move a bit so we get some room, and then just copy this. So Shift D and change it to add. Put it in here and put that into the vector. And now you can see when I scroll here, it moves in the X direction, and when I scroll here, it moves in the Y direction. So now I need to put in a value of 1 divided by 8 times something between 0 and 8. So to do that, we use these values and divide them by 1, or we take 1 divided by these values. So Shift A, Converter, Math, and divide, put 1 in the top, and we take the value from the X to this one, so we have it like this, and we do the same with the Y value. So Shift D on divide, and then the lower value to the lower value of the divide here. So that will be 1/8 and that will be 1/8. So if I put that and that in here, it should then go diagonal up 1 step, which I can show you in a minute if I just combine these two. So I take this combine, press Shift D to copy and move it here. And if I now put in this here and this here, I get the value of G2. And if I take away the vector here, you can see that it moved 1/8 to the side and 1/8 up, and we get G2. So now all we have to do is more or less to multiply between here to get this in a good way. So if I multiply this with 2, I go 2 steps to the X. If I multiply this with 2, I go 2 steps with the Y. So we make more room, move all of this a bit, and we can take down the image slightly because we will see this in a way. So we need a multiply. So take this divide, Shift D to copy, change it to multiply and do the same in the bottom here. So we have that in. And now we can then change this. So if I change it to 1 and this to 1, it will be G2. If I change this to 2 and 2, it will go up with 1 step and so on. So now we can work all the way up to 8 here and all the way up to 8 here. So we need in a random value, we can get that in different ways. So what I was thinking is that we will do this for a cube, because then we can see that we get different values on each side. And to do it for a cube, I think we can use the normal as an input. So we can shift A again, and then we can use the input, but in this case we use the geometry. And we will use the true normal as an input to create a random number. And to read a random number from true normal, we need something that makes true normal random, and that will be white noise. So shift A, go to texture, and you select white noise. We change this into 4D, and we change this, or we take the true normal into the vector here. And the reason that I use 4D is because I will change here, and then I get the seed in, so I get different values out here, because I will do the same for the X and the Y, but I would like to have different outcomes here. So I just copy this one, Shift D, and do it again, and this will then be for the Y and should have another number than this one. So now they get two different random numbers out. And these values will then be multiplied with what we have here. So we can get the value that gets from 0 to 8, because this is only going from 0 to 1. So we add a multiply here, Shift D, and put this to the bottom here, and we take this to the bottom here, like that. And in the top we add our X value and we add our Y values. We have those two in. And now it's more or less to just connect them here, but we can now get a value of 0.4 or something like that out, and then we will get in the middle here. And we would like this to be singular values without decimals. So we use a floor here first. So we copy this one, Shift D, and we change this into floor. And we do the same with the bottom one. So Shift D, copy, change this into floor. And now it's safe to connect this to the top and to connect this to the bottom here. So now we get the value in, and everything is random. And this, if I change this to X here, you can see we get different values here. And I've changed this, we get different values here. So we are almost finished. All I now would like to do is change this into cube. So I press Shift A, mesh, select the cube here. And I would also like to change the UV, so we have 0 to 1 on each side of the cube. So I drag a bit here to change this into 2 windows. Change this into, I have to drag a little bit more. Change this into UV editor, like that. And then I press Tab, and now you can see we have this cross here. And I would like one of these squares to be completely filled in the UV. And the easiest way to do that is just to go to UV and select Reset. Then every square here will fill the space here. So then just press Tab to go back, and we can take away this UV editor, so we only have this in. And we now need the material on our cube here. So we just go down and select the material we did. And now you can see that we have different values on each side of our cube here. And we can easily change those values by just changing the seed here to something to make these sides different, because we have different values out from the true normal if it's facing the top, facing the sides, or facing the bottom. So that means that we get we get the amount of faces that the cube has out from the true normal, different values that we then put into the x and y, get them randomly, pick a number, multiply, in this case 1 divided by 8 multiplied with whatever comes out from the white noise. We take away the decimals that can be there, put it in and just add it to our atlas, and we can then pick that value out. And that is a way that is often used in games to put in different books in a bookshelf, or if you have a lot of things on the wall with paintings or whatever, and you would like them to be filled up in a random way, then you put in all these small images into a texture and then just randomly place them. And if you do it in a game, you often use a position here instead. So you had used this position here and then put it like this, and when you then move this value here, you can then get different results from this one. Now you can see it's more or less small points here, and that is because every geometry position, we don't get the object position, we get the position for the geometry. So if we should have the object, we need to use another node. So Shift A, input, and we use the object info. See if I can find it. There we have it, where we have the location for the complete object instead. So we put that in here and we put that in here, and now you can see we get a smoother image, and if I move this, you can see then that everything is moving like it should be. But now we are not using the normal, we're using the location of the object, so it will then change everything for the object in the same way. We can of course combine these two, so by pressing Shift A, vector, and then add, so converter, vector math, like this, put that into our true normal, and then you do the same on the y-axis like this, and put that into the true normal, and then you get different values on each side, and if I move this cube, you get different values on each side here as well. So that is how you do that in games most of the time, because as I said, then you get different values on different positions in the scene. Okay, so that was a little bit about selecting a random image from an atlas texture. And as usual, I hope you learned something in this lesson, and I will see you in the next. So I just say bye for now, and see you there.